talk about country music.
Tip it on back, make it feel good. Sip a little more than you know you should.
And let's talk about hip-hop.
Or that he going that foreign again, killing the scene, bring the core in the end. Murder she wrote, swallow a choke.
And let's talk about the two genres combined.
I'm proud of where
If you don't judge my gold chain.
No.
Pop it, lock it, polka dot it, country fighting.
No, damn it. Okay, despite some notable evidence to the contrary, country and hip-hop can work together. In fact, they've been moving in that direction for a long time.
All the boys round here drinking that ice cold beer.
You see, country music is in a lot of ways a conservative genre, so naturally it's resistant to more threatening genres like the hippity-hop. But on the other hand, let's face it, hip-hop hasn't been threatening in many years. And who the hell only listens to one kind of music anymore? Nobody. We live in the MP3 generation. Everyone listens to everything.
Got a Lil Wayne popping on my iPod.
So, despite years of vehement opposition, country music is being forced to make peace with rap music, just like it had to do with those long-haired hippie freaks and their rock and roll. There was a time when people considered Johnny Cash too rock and roll for country music, believe it or not. And really, shouldn't these two styles of music be able to find common ground? After all, one, both genres speak to the experiences of the poor and disenfranchised, and two, both genres don't actually do that because they sold out a long time ago. Now, there are a lot of trends that have been bringing the two together over time, but one of the bigger events in that movement was back in 2004 when Nelly, one of the then biggest names in hip-hop, recruited Tim McGraw, one of the still biggest names in country music, for a duet.
'Cause it's all in my head. I think about it over and over again.
And now, 10 years later, Nelly brings rap to Nashville again, but it's a much different country music world nowadays. When Nelly and Tim McGraw teamed up, what middle ground was there where country and hip-hop could work?
I don't know what else to do. 'Cause it's all in my head.
Apparently only with lousy, middle-of-the-road, easy-listening garbage, which is why Over and Over is such a boring slog of a song. But since Nelly stepped on the scene, hip-hop has only gotten twangier and further from New York and LA, and country music has only gotten rowdier and younger and more meat-headed. I can't be the only person who knows that country music videos these days are just rap videos with white girls. Which brings us to these guys.
You know I love it when you get to shine on.
One's from around Daytona, the other's from near Atlanta, so they named themselves Florida Georgia Line, even though I'm pretty sure the actual Florida Georgia Line is a barren wasteland of gators and swamp algae. It was last year when Florida Georgia Line released their first single, Cruise.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Cruise immediately launched them into the big time, becoming a #1 hit on the country charts and was also a finalist for my Worst of 2012 list because it's yet another smug, dopey, mainstream country song complete with the requisite 4 chords of pop. Pop song chords. Oh God, make it stop! Cruise did exceedingly well for a country song, but now they have their first mainstream hit with this rap remix version with Nelly.
What up, Nelly?
I need a hit really badly, how are you? Now, Nelly has always proudly represented for the Midwest, which makes him a better fit for a country song than, say, LL Cool J. But honestly, I think it would have fit even better if they'd gotten a rapper from Florida or Georgia, like, T.I. or Ludacris or, think of it. Flo Rida Georgia Line? It would have been perfect! It would have been terrible. But probably not any more or less terrible than the actual song, which is now a top 5 hit in the country because the charts still haven't figured out what the hell they're doing. And what do I think about it? I hate it. I really hate it. I can barely listen to it at all. Just the opening notes fill me with dread. But let me be clear. This country hip-hop mashup is terrifying, not because it's a terrible idea that doesn't work and it sucks. No. It's terrifying because it does work. And it sucks. A lot, in fact. It sucks a whole lot, but I can't say that it's really all that strange or bizarre or baffling or out of place. No, it all fits together distressingly well. It's a mashup in the same way as a KFC famous bowl. Disparate parts mixed together into a homogeneous, gross but familiar glop. So why does this make sense in its own horrible, horrible way? Well, let's take the original Cruise. What's it about? Okay, it's about cars. Do rappers like cars? Yeah, rappers like cars. What else is it about? It's about hoes. Okay, fine. It's about country girl. No, who am I kidding? It's about hoes. Do rappers like hoes?
With no makeup, she a 10, and she the best with that head, even better than Corinne.
Yeah, rappers like hoes. So, cars and hoes. Why did it take these two genres so long to get together? Now, being of the newer American Eagle-wearing breed of country singers, Florida Georgia Line are openly fans of hip-hop. They even have one of their songs spell "its" with a Z. That's still cool, right? Was it ever? But anyway, the remix was actually Nelly's idea.
Yo, I was checking out the Cruise video, man. Yeah, that thing the deal, boy. I think we need to turn it up, though. What you think?
Both Florida and Georgia there say they were super psyched about it because they've been listening to Nelly since they were kids. Because, holy crap, Country Grammar came out 13 years ago and they would have been in middle school, and Nelly is almost 40, and I found a gray hair in the mirror the other day, and... Anyway, why did Nelly pick this song to guest on? Well, like I said, the subject matter fits, but also, have you ever listened to Nelly's flow? That sing-songy thing he does? Yeah, if you listen, it's just two notes. Two notes, a fourth apart, like this. Da 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 da. Met this chicken, she just moved right up the block for me, and she got the hots for me, the finest thing my hood has seen. And Cruise?
When I first saw that bikini top on her, she's popping right out of the South Georgia water.
Da 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 da. Two notes, perfect for Nelly. And my knowledge of Nelly is a little rusty because he's only had like one hit in the past 8 years, but during his peak, I remember him being kind of a spastic, horny jackass, which makes him a good fit for the obnoxious, horny frat boys of Florida Georgia Line. That's why I hated the original. It's just so bro-douchey and dumb.
When I first saw that bikini top on her, she's popping right out of the South Georgia water. Thought, oh good lord, she had them long tan legs.
And she had a great personality too, right? Eh? Yeah, I'm sure they'll get to that in the second verse. I feel like this song comes with a coating of drool on it.
Thought, oh good lord, she had them long tan legs. Couldn't help myself, so I walked up and said, well baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Okay, you walk up to her and you say,
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
I've covered worse pickup lines, but this still isn't great. Baby, you a song. And by that I mean, you make me want to roll my windows down and cruise. So, I guess I'll do that. Bye. If I were cruising down the back roads, though, I have to say I wouldn't be listening to this because, and this is the truly sad thing about it, it's not even a very good driving song. In fact, I can think of a few country songs in the past year that were about driving, and none of them are good driving songs. They're just a little too slow. I mean, come on, where's the tempo? Here, like this.
Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me.
Come to think of it, Nelly's already done a better driving song than this.
If you wanna go and take a ride with me, we three willing in the fall with the goatees. Oh,
See? How hard is that? Have you ever driven a car at all? And also, as far as driving goes,
down a back road, blowing stop signs through the middle, every little farm town with you.
like, okay, driving a little too fast, playing your music a little too loud, I'm okay with that. But
Down a back road, blowing stop signs through
stop signs are not one of those things I'm willing to bend on. I'm not even sure how to argue this point. If there's a stop sign, you should stop. This has been a message from the Wisconsin Traffic Safety Council. Stop at stop signs, dumbass! Yeah, so that was the original. Let's get Nelly on here. What changes?
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna
Well, we've flattened out the country instruments, which were barely there to begin with, and we've added autotune. Well, more obvious autotune, I guess I should say. And there's a thump beat added, and it kind of works.
Out of the South Georgia water thought, oh good
Kind
Lord,
of.
she had them long
Also, Nelly shouts "oh" a lot.
in this brand new Chevy with a lift kit. Would look a hell of a lot better with you up in it.
Because what else would you recruit a token black guy to do? Basically, Nelly's part is pretty limited. He sings a little bit of the chorus and has a guest verse.
My window down, my seat back, my music up, and we ride. Her legs up on my dashboard, that's just the way I lie. Hey country girl, this country boy, like everything about you. Don't
Country boy? Okay, Nelly's from Missouri. He's always made a big deal out of his Midwestern drawl because when he started, a rapper not representing from either coast was still a novelty. But Greater St. Louis isn't some podunk nowhere town. For Christ's sake, if your hometown has several pro sports teams, you might not be a redneck. I don't think you can really call yourself a country boy. And now that I think about it, I know I was just talking about how country fans are listening to more hip-hop, picking up more cultural cues from hip-hop, but I'm not sure that's true in reverse.
She was sipping on Southern and singing Marshall Tucker.
I get the feeling Nelly doesn't listen to a lot of Marshall Tucker or drink much Southern Comfort. And I get the feeling he really doesn't do this.
She hopped right up into the cab of my truck and said, fire it up, let's go get this thing stuck.
Get it stuck means, I'm really sad I know this, but when he says, let's get this thing stuck, you might think he's conveniently having his truck run out of gas on Lover's Lane for a makeout session. No, he's talking about mudding. That's where you take your truck off-road in a swamp and spray mud everywhere. It is the most hick thing you could possibly do, short of cow tipping in bib overalls while listening to Larry the Cable Guy. I get the feeling Nelly didn't get attracted to this song because he shares Florida Georgia Line's deep love of off-roading. But they probably don't share Nelly's love of grills either. It doesn't really matter. Like, the specifics may be different. One drives a convertible, the other drives a truck. One drinks Patron, the other drinks whiskey. One carries a shotgun, the other gets arrested for having guns. But on the basic level, it's all pretty much the same. See, Florida and Georgia have even mastered the old hip-hop trick of bragging about your car in an unrelated love song.
Brand new Chevy with a lift kit.
This is a love song to the truck more than anything. And the description of the girls are pretty much on the same level. I'm not sure they know the difference between them. She had them long tan legs with them big mud tires and a big old heavy engine and tits. See, this is some real racial harmony. Really profoundly stupid racial harmony. When two different groups find common ground, it's usually the lowest common denominator. That's the lesson here. Baby You a Song. A really stupid, obnoxious song by a bunch of lunk-headed numbnutses. And you make me want to roll my windows down to let out the stink of this gross, sweaty excuse for country music. And also, if you're making a song about driving, put some accelerator in it, for Christ's sakes. God, is a tempo stuck in mud, too.
I got my windows down and the radio up. Get your radio up.
Piece of shit car. I got a piece of shit car.